Okay, so welcome everybody to this webinar, all to do with Class Notebook in Teams. So we're going to show you how to set up a Class Notebook in Teams, and we're just going to go through the features of Class Notebook and what you can use it for. Okay, so we're going to first of all look at, just realised, just going to share my screen with you all. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to set up your class notebook. As you can imagine, this does take a little bit of a while, so this is something I have pre-recorded to show you. Okay, so first of all, when you set up your team, you will notice that you have the option to set up a class notebook. Now, when you set up your team, you will see that you have the option to set up class notebook when you open up the general channel, or you can set it up from here, or you can simply go to the class notebook tab at the top. If you've set up a class team, this class notebook tab will be there automatically. Okay, so I'm here on the class notebook tab, and it's asking me to set up a OneNote class notebook. So I'm going to click on my OneNote class notebook, and I can add in from an existing notebook if I already have a notebook set up, or I can set up a blank notebook, which is what I'm going to do. Now, as you can see, you have these preset sections in a class notebook. So the collaboration space is a space for you to work with your learners, to set tasks for your learners to work together. This space is viewable by everybody that's on the class notebook, and it's also viewable by the teachers as well. If you're not familiar with class notebook, basically when you create a class notebook, all of your students will be added to it. Okay, so when you create a class notebook, especially when you create a class notebook in Teams, your students on your team will be added to your class notebook. So they will all have their individual sections. And so the collaboration space allows you to create a space for them to work together. The content library is available to students, okay, and this is what they will see. They will not be able to edit the content library. This is for their resources only. The teacher only section is for you to put in any marking, any notes, any resources that you don't want to publish just yet. That's a good teacher section, is a good place to put it. And then you have your student notebook. So every student has their own section within the OneNote. And so the teacher and the student can edit the content, but they cannot. They can't actually, they can't see each other's notebooks. They can only see their own notebook. So rest assured, when you see the notebook set up, that's not what the student necessarily sees. So they're all the sections that are already set up within the class notebook, and within each notebook, your student will have their own sections. Just going to pause this because I just have a question. Emma.
Hi, sorry. I'm just wondering if there's a way to view it how the students see it, so you can kind of check that it's coming across the way you want it to. Does that make sense?
Yes, but you can see everything the student's seeing, if that makes sense.
The extra.
Yeah, the extra. Yeah, you should be seeing everything that the student is seeing. It's just you just see everybody else's note. Everything else, the students don't see anything differently to what you're seeing to what you're seeing on the page, if that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Just we have like a learn zone thing, and we can hide something from students. So I wasn't sure if it would display the same, but that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what the teacher section is for. If there's things that you don't want them to see just yet, you can put them in the teacher section and then move them around. But yeah, they don't see anything else, or they don't see each other's work.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay, so each student will have different sections in their in their notebooks, and depending on your subject and you know how you want them to set up your sections will be called you know, something slightly different. It does give you these set sections. It says handouts. I think the other one was. Let's go back a second. There we go. I've gone too far back. I've clicked too far back. There we go. Yep. So as you can see, you've got handouts, class notes, homework, and quizzes. These are already set up. You don't have to use these sections. Some people like them, but you don't need to. You can add your own sections. So, for example, if I was teaching primary, I would set my sections up depending on different subjects. If you're teaching, you know, teaching FE, as I know a lot of you are, you might have your sections set up by unit. You might have your sections set up by you know, by sort of time frame, you know, weeks, you know, semesters, etc. Or you could set it up just, you know, by topic if you wanted to. You know, the main thing about setting up your student sections is to try and get them right at the beginning. So just try and think very carefully, you know, about adding your student sections in. You can distribute new sections to students. And you know, you can distribute things from the content library, but you know, try and get them correct, you know, from the beginning. It's a little bit difficult to, you know, try and, you know, move them around, especially the order of them as well. If you're not happy about them, try and sort of make sure that you're sure about it before you start. Okay, and then when you're happy with your student sections, you can obviously delete sections and add as many sections as you like. You can click create, which I'm going to do. There we go, and then it just takes a few minutes for that to get ready. Don't worry if it just takes a little bit of time. You know, the class notebook can take sort of quite a while to set up, which is obviously why I've just set up a little video. Right, and so that class notebook is available in Teams. So let's just have a look what that looks like in the team. I've now created. There we go. So this is my team, and if I go to class notebook, just used this a little bit since then. If I go to my class notebook, you can see what I've added in. So you always get this welcome to class notebook section here, this little welcome section. You know, you can edit this if you wanted to. You can change this. This is a really nice little space that you could maybe change, and you could add little welcome messages and things in as well. If anybody has ever, you know, come to any of the webinars that I've done on virtual classrooms and thing links, that might be a good space for you to put a little virtual classroom if you're interested in that. I've done a webinar on that, you know, for ThingLink and also for the App Smash. But this is a welcome section that you can have, and you can use this to sort of add, you know, your messages to your class, and you can edit this if you need to. And then you have these other sections which I spoke about. You have the collaboration space, which you can add in additional pages, and it's got a nice explanation there. You can add additional pages in for students to work together, and so the collaboration space is seen by everybody. You know, if I wanted to create a space for my students, all I need to do is simply add a page, and I can put, you know, group 1. You know, I can just put in, you know, I could create almost like a little whiteboard there, so that, you know, students can add their own bits of information, and they can sort of collaborate together. Okay, on Teams, this is just a little note. So when you're using the class notebook in Teams, you'll notice I've just done there. If you press the little navigation button here, this will bring up your section. So if you open it up and you realise that, oh, I can't either get to everything on the page, or you're using Teams and you know you want to be able to see the page, you can use that just to sort of click on and click off it as well. Okay, and you can see the other sections in here. So you have the teacher only section, which only you can see, and then I've got my student sections as well. Okay, right, so I'm just So I'm just going to go into sort of the features a little bit more of OneNote. So you have your different sections in OneNote, and basically you decide what goes into those student sections, and they can add their content and mark their content as you know, and you can mark their content as they add it in. So if I wanted to distribute a page, which is what we call it, so when we add in content to student sections, if I have in my content library here, I might have some resources, or I might have a task that I want the students to work on, and then I might add those to the student section. So I'm going to click on this psychology section here, and if I wanted that to come into everybody's sections, all I would do is I would click on the page, and it's very important to click onto the page, not the section. And then you can go to the tab at the top, click on Class Notebook, and if I was to click Distribute Page, I can distribute it to everybody. If I just click Distribute Page, I can individually distribute it, so I can distribute it to one student at a time. I can distribute it by group. I can do a cross notebook distribution, okay, which basically means that I can distribute that page to multiple class notebooks at a time, which is very useful if you have multiple classes you know, happening, which is quite good. And you can obviously delete the page as well. So if I was to if I just click this one here, distribute page, and it's going to take a little bit of time. There we go. Yeah, so it's just asking me what section I want this to go into. Okay, so if I want this to go into, say, homework, if I click distribute, that will now distribute into those student sections. And what that means is that work has been gone into those sections, and those students can edit that and add anything you want them to add to it. So if you set them a task with some attached resources, you can distribute that, and then they can edit that that task. So if I now go into those student sections, into where was it? It was homework, I think it was. There we go. Oh, I did it twice. There you go. It's because I did it earlier. That's all. And you can see when I've added that as well, and you can see as well I've got my little timestamp on there. So that's distributing pages. I could also distribute a new section into those students notebooks if I wanted to as well. Okay, I can sort of copy things to the content library, and this, where it says review student work, this is the really useful thing if you're using Class Notebook to mark work. However, we are going to look at how you can use the Class Notebook in Teams to set up assignments in Teams. Okay, and even though you can use this tool in Class Notebook, if you were just using Class Notebook to check through student sections, we're going to use the assignments in Teams to sort of to support this. I can also manage my notebooks, which means this will open up my various class notebooks that I already have. Okay, so I'm just going to go through how we go about setting up an assignment in a team using a class notebook. So I'm going to go to the assignments tab at the top. Okay, and if I wanted to create an assignment, okay, first of all, what I need to make sure that I need to make sure that I've created my assignment in the OneNote. So if I just go to my class notebook now, I'm going to go to, there we go. So I'm going to go to my content library. I'm going to go into psychology. Oh, where's it gone? Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a page to this section here, and I'm going to create a task for them. Okay, so, oh, hang on, I've already done it. Is that it? Yeah, oh sorry, I've already done it. Okay, that's easy. I was panicking then. I thought I had done it. Yeah, permanent delete. Let's go back to this one. There we go. There we go. I've got my task ready. I was prepared. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to distribute this into my students' pages. So for this task, I want you to research and explain Maslow's theory, including explain the strengths and weaknesses of the theory, and refer to the rubric within the team's assignments. Okay, and you can complete the assignment on this page and you can explain using the Flipgrid, or you can even create a wakelet. So that's obviously just what you want them to complete the assignment. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can add this little Flipgrid in here as well. And to distribute this, all I need to do is simply go to Class Notebook and then distribute page, and I will distribute that into the homework section. I believe I've already done this. I think I've already done this. Yes, in fact, I've done it twice. Okay, so I've already added in the task into the students' individual sections. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on assignments. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to just copy that. I'm just going to go back and copy that out of there so that I can use that. Oh, it's kind of funny. So I've already got it open. Have it open here. That'll do. There we go. Let's just copy that. Okay, back to assignments. Okay, so these are assignments that I've created before. These are sort of ones that I have created. So this was a solar system task. And basically, if I just go onto student view, the idea was that this is a very simple task, you know, for, I would say this is more of a primary task. So the idea was that they were going to choose and research a planet from the solar system. And the idea was that then they could go in to their student sections. There we go. And I've got my task that they need to do there. And then they've also got some prompts and things and resources that they can complete. I'm just going to close that. And when they're finished, all they would do is they would click the hand in button. There is a hand in button that comes up on here on the student, but it doesn't show it on here. And then all they need to say, they just need to click the hand in button to say that they've done it. And really, that's the useful thing, because then that tells you, you can go in and then you can check it. Okay, because you might think, oh, well, I can just use the class notebook, but that little hand in button, that assignment, gives you those notifications and allows you to give that feedback as well within Teams. So let's just have a little go at setting them up. Okay, so if we click on create, I'm going to create an assignment. And I'm just going to add in my title. Okay, I'm going to enter my instructions. Okay, and as you can see, I could, if I wanted to, I can put in a link to my assignments. I can sort of, you know, change the text, etc. The main thing that I need to do is I need to add resources. And if I click on this, this will give me the option to link to the class notebook. So if I now click to the class notebook, okay, and then if I go to where's it gone? Okay, if I, oh, yeah. Okay, and then if I go to my task, there we go. Okay, I can attach that, and then that will be attached. Okay, and this is actually going to distribute the section. So I've already distributed the section, okay, to show you. We're going to distribute it again. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into the homework section, okay, and we're going to add that in there. Okay, so I've actually already distributed this. Okay, so you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that twice. Okay, so you select that, and then that distributes into there. So now what I need to do is I can add in some points. So if I add in, say, 5, so if I just want to put in, I'm going to put in 5 points, and then I can add a rubric if I wanted to. Okay, and if I wanted to, I can upload a rubric, or I can click on new rubric, and this will give you your different options in here. Okay, so you've got these different grading criteria. You might want to change this, you know, to pass, you know, merit. And obviously you can enter the criteria. Very rudimentary, I appreciate that. And then, you know, pass, and then merit, distinction, etc., and put your, you know, your criteria on there. And obviously you could use this if you were, if you've got an assignment brief and you've got the marking criteria from the exam board as well. Okay, so I'm not worrying too much about that. Yeah, that's fine. But you can see, you can have a little play with that. It's assigned to the class team. And then you can add in your due date and your time. Okay, so if I pop in, I want this to be completed by next Thursday, and I can put in my time. And then also it will post a notification into the general channel for the students. Okay, I can edit that if I wanted to. And I can choose a channel where I can send that notification to. So if that's that was a homework thing, so if I put that into there, I could pop that into there, that would be good. There we go. So that's going to post a little notification to that particular channel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this. There we go. And I've created a little assignment. We go into there. Oh, hang on, it's not gone into there. Why has it not gone into there? Has it gone? Oh, there it is. It's been too quick. There you go. So it's actually gone into that channel there. So that's where I added it. Okay, so I've set my channel up. You know, the students will get that little notification, and all they need to do then is go into. If I just click on the student view, right? So then all they'll need to do is they will need to click on their class notebook, and then they will see the task on the page. So as you can see here, they can just edit the notebook, and they can add their, you know, they can add their work onto here, and you know, interact with any resources that you've added onto that particular page. And once they're finished, they can just click hand in, and there is a hand in button on the student view. Okie dokie. So that's sort of setting up assignments. Once the student has handed in the assignment, you'll then need to go in and mark it. I've got this just in another team, which I will just show you. I've already done one of these. So if I pop in here. So this was an assignment that I did before. Okay, so this is my one on photosynthesis. Okay, so this is, as you can see, when a student returns their assignment, it will say turned in. Okay, and then you can click on it and it will open up. Okay, if you click on it at the moment, nothing will happen. Usually say they haven't submitted anything, it will just open it up. So the student hasn't done anything. Okay, but if I now click on Oliver, if I click on his name, okay, I can see it's turned in. Okay, and Oliver has added some work for photosynthesis. And what I can then do is I can add some feedback here, and if I have any points, etc., I can do that. If you've got a rubric, it would also appear at the top here, so you can have a look. And you can add then any little bits on here. And with the feedback, you know, you can use the OneNote features to add in the feedback. So with OneNote, if I just show you, it's just taking a little bit of time that, so I'm just going to show you on the full app here. Okay, let's just go into Oliver's here. Which one was that? Science. I think that was science, solar system. There we go. Okay, so you can see it's just taken a little bit of time to sync in Teams, but I've added these little stickers in here if I wanted to sort of, you know, add some praise, etc. What the great thing about this is that if you, you know, the student can sort of open this up in the browser, and you can also open it up in the browser or even the desktop app, and you can edit it, you know, in the app rather than, you know, always using Teams. So if you wanted to take it out, you know, you can either open in the desktop app, you know, or you can just you actually can go into OneNote on Office 365 and open it up from there. Okay. You can also, just so that you know, you can also obviously open this up from the Class Notebook tab on Teams. Okay, so if I wanted to add in some feedback, you can see there, I'll just delete these so you can see on the OneNote. Just delete these. Put a little bit of writing on there. Okay, and so I've got a few things I can add into here. I can insert pictures. I can insert audio. So if I wanted to do audio feedback, this will record me giving the student feedback. There we go. It's just saving. There we go. I can also add in emojis, and I can also do stickers. Okay, and these are sort of some really great stickers on here. They're really fun, and there's lots of I really like these as well. These little stickers, you might have seen these on the praise, little bits of praise that I give out for people's level ups. But yeah, these are some really cool little stickers on here that you can use, which I think are quite cool. And obviously you can sort of type in, and the students will see that on the page as well. Let's just go back to the team. There we go. That's just sort of taking a little bit of time, but then I can add my feedback, and then I can return my assignment. Okay, so that's just the assignments for using OneNote assignments. There's just a few tools, and just a few to go through a few tools of OneNote. Let's just go back to my OneNote page. There we go. So as you can see, there's lots of different things you can add into OneNote. I've embedded some videos in here. I've also embedded things like Flipgrids, and I've done thing links as well. So if anybody's familiar with those apps, they embed straight into OneNote. As you can see, this is a thing link I created. And also, if you create a Flipgrid video, you can, oh, that's just on the thing link. Let's go back to our homework section. If you do a Flipgrid, you can embed that into, there we go. Yeah, so if I do a Flipgrid, that I can embed that straight into my my class notebook, and students can interact with that as well. And they're all quite straightforward. If you're using sort of Wakelets, or if you're using Flipgrid or any of these other apps, they just embed. Same thing with Microsoft Forms as well. So if you're using Forms, all you need to do is you just need to share that form, and then you just need to paste that link into OneNote. So, and that will embed into OneNote. So there's lots of different things you can embed into there. You can also create forms from OneNote as well. So you can use this little symbol here, and this allows you to create forms from OneNote. So you can create a new form, or you can select a form that you've already created if I wanted to. So if I just click that, this will just open up, and this will take us to our forms page, which will then embed into our OneNote. Okay, so yeah, there's a few things on here that you can add into OneNote. The maths tool is very good as well. I'll just click on that. Okay, so you can write an equation. Let's just go back to, let's go into our content library. There we go. Let's go into science. I just add it into science here. I'm going to add a page. Okay, so if I just use the maths tool here, basically all I need to do, if I go onto let's go onto the draw tool. So this will be what I need to do. I can just add a little equation, and if you're using, you can either, if you've got a pen or some kind of surface, you can add this in as well. So it's not very good, but you can get the picture. There we go. And then if I just use this little icon here, this will allow me to select my tool. There we go. Click on maths. There we go, and it's basically given me my equation. If I can just do that, it'll link it to maths. So if you've got a surface, or you've got something that you can use a pen on, this is actually quite a useful tool. Okay, and it actually, once you've actually added in there, it can give you little options like graphs. Okay, I can insert that graph on a page, and it also gives you the solve. If you wanted to sort of solve something, it actually automatically solves it. There we go. There we go. And then it actually shows you the steps. There we go. And the great thing as well is that you can generate a practice quiz. Okay, so I'll click on that, and then you've got a little practice quiz. Yeah, there we go. Let's just add that in there. There we go. So you can just pop a little equation in, and it'll generate all of this, all of this extra content for you. So if you're doing sort of, equations and other sums, you can sort of try that and see how that goes. There we go. So, and again, this is just to say this is just a Microsoft form that has been embedded. The great thing about Microsoft Forms as well, I know this is class notebook, but again, Microsoft Forms will sort of generate sort of predicted questions for you. So if I was doing this in Microsoft Forms, it'd then give me like a list of other questions that you can just simply add in. It's quite good in that sense. Right, so there's all the different things you can possibly add in. You can also, when you're sort of marking things, if you're using Class Notebook to create things like lists, or you want to sort of mark something out, the tags are very useful. So you can add in things like to-dos. So if I could just have the to-do list on there, and then you can sort of, it can be ticked off. So for example, if you've got a list of tasks for the students to complete, or a list that you need to complete in order or process, you can add a little to-do list and distribute that to the students. And you can also add little other little tags as well. So for example, if I wanted to look at this here, if I click on this little tag, I can tag this as a website. Where is it? There is it. Okay, I can add that as a little tag as a website. And there are also, it's a little bit of a video, it's not really a video, but anyway, it's not a video, but yes, I can also add the little tags here. Okay. And you've also got the accessibility options in OneNote. So you've got the dictate tool, so you can dictate feedback, students can dictate their answers. This is really useful for students that struggle to write a lot or struggle to write reports. So I can use the dictate tool like so, and it will dictate my answers. And I use this quite a lot when I do our level up marking, especially when we're doing all our level up marking for Giphy, because we do all of our marking on the OneNote, and this is actually really useful because it just really does kind of just saves time, and it's just so much easier. And as you can see, it's quite accurate. There we go. Okay, so I'll just stop that, and that appears on there. And so you've got a few little, again, so you can add in files and images. With the files, if you assert as a file printout, you can't edit it. Okay. If you're sort of person who think I'm going to use this for like booklets and things, what you would have to do is like copy and paste, the box and things out of the booklets and put them onto the pages. It doesn't actually work if you just insert the files and then try and get them to sort of write over them. It doesn't quite work so well with that. You would need to sort of copy the content out. Okay. And you've got the draw tools. And then if you did want to use this to sort of look at people's work, if I click on the class notebook, I can click on review work, student work. Okay, and then I can go into this any of my students' areas. So, for example, if I go into homework, I can click on my page that I want them to what I want to look at. I'll just click next. Now I can click my students, and then that will show me my students' work, as you can see, whatever they've completed in there. Right. You can also do this thing called page locking, which basically means that you can lock this so that students can't edit it when you've added in your feedback, so they can't go back in and edit it. Okay. But like I said, you'll probably be you will be using obviously the team to do a lot of your feedback and sort of adding in sort of your marks and grades and things. Right. So so I think that's everything. Let me just check. I've gone through marking and feedback. I've gone through the tools and features. I've gone through accessibility, maths tools, etc. Yes, I think I've covered everything that I can. Do I have any questions? Anybody want to try using Class Notebook in Teams that hasn't tried it before? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll just right. Let me just go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, so there is a lot of resources on here. There are some MET courses on there from the Microsoft courses, and we've also got several webinars. We've done a fair bit on Class Notebook as well, so they're just the links to that. And if you're interested, there is a code there, so you can get some points for the Microsoft Educator community. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording. Thank you everybody for joining me. If you've got any questions, just feel free just to ask them or pop them in the chat.